everyone. Please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So, chronic venous insufficiency, that's what was said by the White House. That's the supposed condition. Of course, a lot of skeptical people, because they're likely to downplay it. You could even say that perhaps any White House would attempt to downplay these kinds of things, but particularly with this crew, it's almost certain to be downplayed. And I was struck by the fact that a number of viewers commented, speculating on potential other conditions. Indeed, some of them mentioned they were nurses and knew about these kinds of things. And so I can agree that it's definitely reflected in this chart in relation to some of these conditions that were mentioned. Meaning, for example, one such condition would be some kind of relationship to the heart. Congestive heart failure was mentioned, and it could also be heart attack or stroke as definite potentials. This is amply covered in his chart through Leo rising. That's enough right there. In fact, I recall a chart that I looked at years ago. It was a soccer coach, a British soccer coach with Leo rising, and he made it into his late 60s, at which point he had a heart attack with planets in the 8th house squaring into his sun, because the sun rules the first house. And so heart conditions, Leo rising, perfect fit. But something else that was mentioned was the potential for renal failure or kidney issues. And this also is possible because there you go to Libra and Venus. And Venus in his chart, and this is not now, when we're talking about chronic Venus, that's the veins. This is Venus, the planet. So Venus is in his 12th, automatically putting it in a major health house, conjunct Saturn, and because in this period in his life, it is being transited and therefore can implicate it. And this is where I was explaining in the last video that Jupiter is the one going through there now, but Saturn will go there next, so that let's assume he continues to move along, live literally, then Saturn will get there in 2027 in a square, and that's a pretty major transit into the 12th house. So this just to say that the things that were mentioned are absolutely possible. You could even say that all of them at once, although typically one of them will be more powerful at some point, but they're all part of the astrological situation, and they're all, in that sense, perfectly valid.